go through. Main deal I want to address is kind of the questions that we're getting about, all right, Schoology is not working in certain areas. What do we do? And I believe Willie and I sent out their blog post last week about what they're trying to do to alleviate some of the issues that they're encountering. And what ultimately comes down to is they're trying to rob Peter to pay Paul. They're taking resources from certain tools within Schoology and then using those resources to support other areas. So features like the Google Drive assignment app probably aren't going to be working for us much right now. And so what you would have to do to overcome it is go back to forcing a copy of documents in order for them to submit and assign. So I'm going to go into my practice course, and we're just going to kind of start at the top with probably two of the things that are most useful to you guys. So first thing we're going to do is go into our assignments, as well as kind of the assessment features, and then we'll talk about discussions and how we can interact with students via discussion, how we can grade discussions, and so on and so forth. So at the start, my assignments. So for those of you that have been using Schoology for a while, it's pretty much standard. Okay, you're going to name your assignment here. Title assignment there. You'll give your description. So in this box, this is where you're going to ultimately send out the activity. So if you were sending them a document for them to work off of, this box is where it's going to go. If you were sending a Google Slides document, this box is where it's going to go. So I'm going to go into my drive. I'm going to get a document. So I'm going to look for a slide. Okay. Here we go. I'm going to go with this slide. Now, first thing that's going to be important is my address bar. So when you see here at the very end, you see here at the very end, it says right at the start of my blue box, it says edit. So what that does is that code makes this a live document. So anybody that has this document will be able to edit it. Okay. So they're going to be able to go in and change it. Well, what I want to do is I don't want them to change my document. So if they change my document, they're going to change it for Johnny, Sue, Larry, and Heather. All of them are going to have their document changed. What I need to do is go in and put copy. I'm going to take out from edit everything to the right of that. Because when I do now, when I replace copy, what this is going to do is it's going to force them to make a copy. So what that looks like, I'm going to open a new tab. I'm going to paste it. I'm going to go. When they get that, this is the window they're going to see. So it's going to say copy of Star Bootcamp. I'm going to hit make a copy. You see my title up here says copy of Star Review Bootcamp. I'll hit make a copy. So now this new one will be a copy of Star Bootcamp. So these right here, they're indicating this right here means it's a brand new copy of this document. So every student that clicks copy, make a copy, they now have their own individual document. They have their own individual slideshow or their own individual sheet, whatever you're sending out. So any Google Suite applications, you can do that. Do that with Draw, Slides, Sheets, Docs, whatever is G Suite. That's how you would ultimately do it to make a copy. So if you're working on G Suite for an assignment, that's what you'll do. So I'm going to come back over here in the Schoology. And right here, I've got my file. I've got my link. I'm going to post my link right here. Post there, you see, make sure again it says copy at the end. And so they have that assignment there, okay? If you need to, you can put an audio video recording in it now. We finally got this, Schoology finally updated it the way they should, so we'll have no problems with your students using their Chromebook as long as they have a mic and a webcam. They can now record directly into the assignment. You can record a message directly to them with your Chromebooks now. We have that. We're going to completely skip this right now. So based on what Schoology is saying, they're pretty much not, they're pulling resources from this. So this isn't going to be super reliable for us right now. That's why we're having to do the assignment this way. We're going to give it our category. Remember, ungraded means it's not going to show parents. Schoology does not post grades in the Skywards. All the official grades are in Skyward. Schoology's, you could say, are, suggested grades based on what you want. All right. So ungraded means it's unseen to parents. You still see it. Students still see it. Parents on their end won't see it. Okay. Period. We're still report card, 4th 9 weeks. If you have another option where it says report card and the date is 2020, you definitely want to use that one. Okay, not the professional development. Okay, but use report card 4. Make sure that it has the correct dates right there for report card 4. All right. So availability and due dates. Let's try. The green dot is what makes it available to the students. This is, if the green dot's checked, that means they can see it. If this date in here means it's going to be due on April the 10th at 11:59. Okay. Now, this lock feature right here, if I click on it, it opens up this dialog. Locking disables the ability for students to make submissions. So I can turn this on and I can say it will lock here at 11:59 p.m. So that locking feature shuts it down. Okay. This is your due date. This is your availability. And this is when you shut it down. So say, okay, it's due now. And you have until it's shut down and you'll never be able to do it again. Well, in Schoology, when you add a folder, it gives you the options of publishing during a range. So you have the options of when to take it down and when to make it available. So if you do it through a folder, it will take it and just close it and reopen it. Now, grading wise, so you can create a rubric or you can use a previously created rubric. You can also use a numeric scale, A+ scale. I'm going to focus on rubric just because it is a quick, easy way to grade, especially projects. It is completely editable. So I'm going to just say good. If you do a good rubric that's kind of generic, where you can use it for everything, you can use the same rubric over and over again. You can change the title for each criteria. You can change the description for each criteria. You can change the point scale. So I can go to 10 for excellent. I can go to 8. I can go to 6. Go to 4. Okay, I ran out of columns, so I need to add another column. So I can add another column here. Okay, I'll change that to 4. I'm going to change that to 2. I need one more column. Change that to 2. And I'm going to change this to 1. Okay, so I have that available to me. All right, I can scroll over and see that criteria. I can add more criteria and more and more. Okay, learning objectives. Okay, if I scroll down to the bottom, I have my state standards, my TEKS. Okay, and depending on which TEKS I'm going off of. Okay, so social studies were updated recently. I would want to use the most recent. Okay, science were updated 17. Want to use the most recent science, and so on and so forth. So I'll click on a TEK, click on grade, and I'll click on which objective I want. And so instead of a title description, I can just go by my TEK. When I'm done, I'll hit create. I didn't. So now I have it set to rubric. My rubric, that's good for everything. I have my dates. I'm going to leave that off. I have my learning objectives. If I want to assign it to certain students, so say you have your assignment for everybody, then you have your modified assignment to your SPED students. You can individually assign to those students. So I got my boy Brickhouse Magoo. I'm going to send it specifically to him. Okay. Submissions are enabled. I have my grade statistics. I have comments enabled. And if I do not have my courses linked together, I can click on that and I can link that to all the other courses that I have in this subject area. Okay, or all the other courses I have. So when I'm done with that, let's move this. I'm going to hit create. All right, so right now it's grayed out. I see the rubric down here. I see title assignment, but it's grayed out. It's not published yet. It hasn't reached the date. Okay, so if I click publish to all, it's going to ungray it. So now it's available to everybody. All right. So now I go into the assignment. I look over here. I don't have any submissions received. Okay, I can click over here and I see what's available, who's late, who's on time, who needs grading, not submitted. I see my rubric that it's being graded by, and I see the assignment option right there. So that is ultimately what it will look like from your end. Now, coming back to my YouTube channel, now what it looks like to submit. So I'm going to post this into our meeting notes real quick so that you guys can have that available. But what this does is a video Willie shot a few years ago.
Schoology. Over here on the right, you will see.
He's very soft-spoken. And so this will be a student's view. So when they go into their assignment, there will be the descriptions at the bottom of comments. They'll see the link. And then over here, they're going to have submit assignments. Once they click on a submit assignments, they're going to have these choices. Now they can upload. If they're working from their Chromebook, they can click upload and it will go directly into their drive, or they will be able to get into their drive, navigate to that file and click upload. They could also go through resources where their Google Drive is connected to their Schoology account. And they can go into their Google Drive that way, select the document that they made a copy of, that they worked off of, and then submit it that way. Okay, so they have a few different options. They are also able, if you see that microphone, they can record themselves, audio and video. They can record themselves in their submission. Okay, so they have that option as well. Then, if that's assignments, next thing I want to go to is assessments. Now, you have tests and quizzes available to you. I generally skip these because I like assessments a lot better. Everything you can do is a test and a quiz, you can do in an assessment, but you have a lot more features and more interactive parts that you can share with your group. So I'll do sample. Okay, I'm going to do a scale or A plus as far as grading. Category, I'm going to leave ungraded. Period, again, you want to make sure you select report card 4 if the dates are showing up for you, right? If not, you can hit professional development. Okay, availability and due dates, same thing. The green dot is available. The due dates are whatever you select in here. The time submissions. Okay, assessments, you have different options. So you can enable until a certain time. You can enable in a range. So I wanted to start last night at 11:59 p.m. and I want to go all the way until Friday at 11:59 p.m. again. Okay, so we have that. Now password, I can disable or enable. Password, basically they have to have a password from you to get in. So if you're wanting them to complete all their activities before they try their assessment, you would put a password. Once they've submitted everything, they can contact you. You can send them the password, then they can work. Or whatever way you want to set it up. I want to enable, enter a password. Okay. So that will be their password that they have to type in to get in. So again, you can select your sections. You can assign it individually. Grade statistics. Right now, copying to my courses are not available. We'll hit create. So it takes you to your setup now. You always have your preview of what it's going to look like. These are settings. These are pretty self-explanatory. Your instructions up here. Your all-important embed feature is right here. If you want them to see a link, okay, an image. If you have a hyperlink you want to send, you can also send it that way, okay? And again, these settings are self-explanatory, time limits, toolbars, what kind of tools you want them to use, how many times you want them to take it, so on and so forth. When you're done, hit save. Questions, come over here. And these are all the individual questions that you can do. You can do a drag and drop. You can do labeling an image. Again, like the normal quiz and test feature in Schoology, we have multiple choice, true, false, matching, ordering. So what you have kind of the standard ones here at the top, and then you have kind of the new interactive ones down here at the bottom. As you're going through, you can preview it and you can go through and see what it will look like for your students. Grading, as it happens, you can grade by question or grade by student. So if you have those manually graded ones in there, you can go in here, grade it yourself. Live progress, keep up to date with who is in, how they're doing, what's going on, and then our reporting feature. We can navigate in between classes and get our data here. So that is Schoology assessments in a very, very quick update. So let me see. Okay, so that's Schoology assessments. Now I'm going to move down to discussion, and then we're going to kind of pause and go through question and answers. All right. So sorry, I know I'm really original on my titles today, but that's all I got. So sample right here. So I have my description. What is this discussion board going to be for? I have all my usual features that I'll always have. My text, paragraph, if it's going to be a heading, whatever. Okay, if I want to insert a table, if I want to insert content, I can insert it directly. A video from YouTube, something from my Google Drive. Okay. I can insert an image. I can insert a link. You have all these options available to you. You can upload a file, a link. You can add resource. This is your resources in Schoology. So if you have certain things in Schoology already created that you're just going to want to include, you can do that. Again, you can record right here. Let's start recording. Hey guys, hope you're doing well. We're going to talk about Homer's Iliad right here. Type all your responses here. And I'm having a great hair day. Sorry about that, guys. So I'll insert my recording. And so they'll have that there where they can see. Now, do I want to grade this discussion post? Do I want to have it where they're getting participation grades? Whatever, I can do that. I can switch back and forth to rubric, just like I created earlier. I can use the rubric I created earlier. Show it to students, determine how many points. That is preset by this rubric. Category, again, I tend to always use ungraded. So I have that feature available. Professional development, again, like I said, check report card, set the date if need be. All right. Factor is how much it's worth. Is it going to be a full grade? Is it going to be a partial grade? How big a grade do you want this to factor in? So you're going to have them do, you want it to be one grade, but you want them to participate 5 times over the course of the week. Have 5 different discussion boards. You can have it as 0.2. Okay. So each one is worth 0.2. So each of those 5 discussions will add up to factor into a whole grade.
Hey, James, I want to add something in here for just a second. Oh.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Liz.
In this task here, yesterday I was playing with some assignments and I dropped in a Google Map virtual site. And when you do that, then it goes straight into Schoology and the kids can see the view of the virtual site and can manipulate it and move it around within Schoology and respond. So it went through Google Maps and the little yellow man, you drop him, and then you embed that as a media link. And within Schoology, you have that virtual picture. And it was, I thought it was really neat that that picture is right there ready to go for them.
Okay. All right. Michelle, responding back to your question, do students see, do they see ungraded or not? So right now I'm looking at it as a student and it doesn't show ungraded anywhere here on my screen. So this was one I set the category to ungraded. And so I'm coming in here, so it does not show them that part of it. Okay, what type of assignment, whether it's a test, it's a daily or ungraded. Okay, so just a quick response to your question. Availability and due dates, same thing that we already talked through. Then it's available, when it's due, okay, time, and then when do I want to lock it? Lock on or lock now, okay, and as well as my sections. When I go through, come down here real quick, individually assign. If I want to assign to certain people, I can. Right here, this is a good feature for the discussion board. So members can't see others' responses before participating. So what this does by turning this on is this requires members to post something before they can see others' responses. So what will happen is when they get into the discussion board, they're going to see that John, Larry, and Jane all responded, but it's going to be a big gray bar over the top of what they wrote. So they can't just go in and copy it. They can't just go in and they can't just go in and copy what they did and count it as theirs. They can't just go in and reword theirs. They have to post something. Now, the workaround is they can put a period in there, hit post. and then see everybody's and then do that. But again, you see that they posted a period. So you already know what's kind of they're doing. But this is a great feature if you want to make sure everyone's participating. Copy to courses, again, copying into all those other courses you have. All right. So I hit create. So now I have my discussion, and you see the different icons. This is a link. This is a sheet or an assessment. This is an assignment. Okay. So, and then you have your quote bubbles for your discussion board. If I come over here, that's my student. Go back. See the discussion board. Now, in the discussion board, the options they have, they can link. They can actually, because I'm in Edge right now, it doesn't support it. If I was in Chrome, it would support it. But they can go in and record themselves the same way, audio or video. So they can post a recording in here. When they're done, they'll hit post. And if I come back over here into my Chrome, click on here, I can navigate between my classes. I see that I've got one post right here. I see what Brickhouse posted. I can come over here now and click on this box, and I see my rubric. I see excellent, but yet he needs improvement on 2. He's good here, and I'll be nice. I'll give him this. So I have that, and then I can post a comment. We have that posted as a quote, and I froze. So I see my check mark that it's been marked. Okay. On the rubric, I have a note for him specifically on 1, why he got that. But I can also post a comment here. Overall, good job. I can show that to the student. Come back over to my student point of view. I see my grade up here at the top. Okay, I got a 25 out of 50. I see where all my notes were. I see that I've got a comment right here, needed a little more here. Okay, so I've got that. I can shrink it, I can close it. I can see that there was also a comment, overall, good job. So this is where the student will see their feedback for their post right here. So that is discussion boards.